58, chasing the lights. Both had battles that brought them low, but they found a way to steal the show. Health concerns were weighing them down till they found a path that turned it around. Carnivore diet, they took the leap, finding strength in the promises they keep. Now they're living wild, living free, healing body and mind. Just wait and see. Tune into the truth every single week. Real talk with Brian and Johnny. That's the peak. 8 p.m. on YouTube. Gather near. Uplifting vibes. Let's give a cheer.
All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian.
I'm Johnny.
And this is Real Talk with Brian and Johnny.
Yep.
So we are here together. We got to do sprints earlier today. We'll talk a little bit about how that went. Then we cooked some steaks on my new pellet grill.
Yep.
And had lunch together. And now we're ready to go with the live stream tonight. So go ahead and say hi in the chat. If you have any questions, just put a capital Q in the front. And I'm going to bring up comments we already have here to say hello to people. So we got Linda is here. Hello.
Hey, Linda.
Paul is here.
Paul.
We do not have a special guest tonight. It's just me and Johnny. So, but that's okay. Running Tap is here from Australia.
Good day.
Peachy Pam in Maryland. Hello. Target Prime Rib. Hello.
Yep. Howdy.
Okay, so caught up on comments here right now. How did the sprinting go earlier? I think we're going to have an interesting little video we get to premiere tonight.
Yeah, well, Brian, it started out going amazing. You were doing great. We get a little warm up. We kind of got together and decided what our warm up would be, and I think we were on the same sheet, right? We were singing from the same hymnal on the warm up, and I felt like we warmed up enough, but maybe in retrospect we could have gone a few more seconds on the warm up. That'll make sense in a little while, guys, when you see some of the video. My wife came to Virginia with me, and she was able to kind of help us video some of this. And so you're going to see some point of view stuff from my wife holding the camera. But it started out great, Brian. You were doing amazing. I think you were a bit surprised.
Better than I thought, yes.
And you told me about 2/3 of the way through it that you were actually having fun, that it was a lot more fun than you imagined it would be.
Yeah. It actually seemed somewhat refreshing or like empowering, I guess, you know. And I don't know, we had done at that point like 4 or 5 sprints already, I think, and I felt really good. Like I had good energy. I expected, like I do, and again, we kind of ramped up doing some very slow jogs. Before that, we even did some dynamic stretching, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I kind of felt like after the first couple of sprints, I was going to be like, I am like tired and out of it, whatever. And I did not feel that way at all. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, you're Paul saying, oh, that Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, world-class sprinter. Yes.
You said you knew the name. You were familiar with that name.
He was so fast. He was there. He was so fast. We couldn't even get him on camera.
We tried.
I mean, he blew us away. It was crazy. Oh yeah.
Amy. Hey,
Amy. Hello.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was, you know, I felt really good with it, and I thought it was going pretty well, and I was feeling very surprised that I thought I would be in worse shape than I was.
Brian, the thing that surprised me the most is we did start off very gradual. We didn't want to get hurt. The whole goal of today was to have fun, fellowship with each other, and not get hurt. And we almost accomplished all of those goals. But so, you know, I've been sprinting. If you guys watch my channel, the Carnivore Champion, if you see my channel, you know, I've been sprinting pretty consistently for about 2 years. So I have a little bit of, obviously, a huge advantage on Brian. Today's day 1 for him. It's day 600 for me. And my best time and Brian's best time, and we only did 20 yards. We were trying to keep it, we didn't want to try to sprint 100 yards at our age with Brian and being brand new at this. So we set it at 20 yards. We measured off with a measuring wheel, 20 yards. We were on a soccer field or just beside a soccer field.
Right.
And we measured off 20 yards. And Brian, your fastest time was only a half a second off mine. I was 3.9. You were 4.4. That's half a second.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 2 years. So that was pretty amazing. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I was happy for you, and I was digging. You'll see in the video, I put 111%.
Potentially, my last run might have been a 4.3.
Yeah. I think
potentially
4.3, 4.2 easy. Yeah,
if I would have made to the finish line, but we'll talk about that in a
you
minute.
just came up a little short.
Just a little bit. Well, should we show that video?
Hey, you guys put in the comments, do you want to see the videos? We have one of me going and then one of Brian. You guys want to see that? Which one do you want to see first? Me on my last sprint where I make it to the finish line, but I come up kind of lame. And then Brian's, he doesn't make it quite to the finish line. So it's a comedy of errors, but you guys want to see it?
Peter, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey, Peter. We'll go ahead and show it, Brian.
We are together here in Virginia tonight. Yeah. Okay, so we want to show mine? Or yours?
Let's show mine first. Mine's the appetizer. Yours is the main course.
Mine will get everybody laughing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's see. Let me go into the media here. So this is Johnny's. We have a little commentary here too.
Yeah.
That I think you'll be able to hear about Dr. Sean Baker.
Yeah.
Beast mode. But
and Brian, if this looks impressive at all, consider the fact that me and Dr. Sean Baker are the same age. We're a month apart in age, and he would blister me in this. It wouldn't even be close. And we're the same age. He is a beast.
on your mark, set, go.
Whew.
Okay. So, okay, so yes.
Yeah.
Yes, show them. Well, we just showed that was the first one we're going to show you. That was Johnny, his last sprint.
And you really can't tell it there. I think I had a 3.89, was a good time, but about 3 or 4 yards from the finish line, I pulled my quadricep muscle really bad. So at the very end, you see me kind of limping off, and then things kind of went downhill from there, Brian.
But I got to say, you seemed fine earlier.
Yeah.
But when you just got back to my house here to do the show, you're limping a little bit.
Yeah. Time is not being my friend. It's starting to hurt worse and worse.
So you've been doing this for what? 2 years?
2 years. Yeah.
And when was the last time that you probably hurt yourself, you think, like that?
The first 6 or 8 times I ran sprints, I pretty much every time I did it, I would pull something, usually a hamstring. This is the first time I've had a quad, the front of my leg, and it's not bruised or anything. So I don't think I tore anything. It's just very, very sore. So it's been a while, but I think that 20-yard distance for me, I was trying to push it as hard as I could because it was a short distance. What I found when I run 40 or 50 yards, I don't go that hard because I have to save a little bit or I'll never make it to the finish line.
So you're maybe more like 90%.
Right. Yeah. So this, I was all out 100%. And it'd be interesting to see if I make it to work on Friday because my right leg is killing me.
Okay. All right. So that was the appetizer. I guess let's just go right into my video. And again, we did 5.
This was the 6th one.
So we did 5 sprints before this. I was doing really good. I decided for this one, I was going to lean forward a little more to try and get a little bit more speed. And with doing that, my 51-year-old body that isn't used to doing sprints maybe had a little bit of balance issue. So I'm sure everybody's going to laugh at this one, but let's go ahead and play it.
All right. All right, Brian, are you ready?
Yeah.
On your mark, get set, go. Good job, good job. Push, 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 go, 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 go.
So I think I was leaning forward just a little bit too much, and then I started to lose my balance, and that was it. I just went down. And hello, Cynthia is here.
Cynthia.
Hello. So I went down. I started to get up, and I said, "Oh, my hamstring hurts."
Yeah.
So it was pretty sore, limping quite a bit. But we put everything away, went back to my house, my house is like around the corner from this park, right? Yeah. And we drove though, so that was cool. Yes, here we go. Oh dear Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So went back to my house and cooked up steaks. I limped around to cook up the steaks and stuff. And then Johnny went back to his hotel. Johnny and his wife went back to their hotel for a little bit, and I iced my hamstring for a little bit. Started to feel a little bit better from that.
Yeah.
I put the ice back in the freezer, and now I got the ice on the hamstring again. So, there's a little bit of bruising, so I think that there is a tear, maybe a partial tear or something like that. But I'm getting around, I'm going to probably be sidelined for a couple of weeks where I can't really do any activity like that. We'll see. It depends on how long, some of them can be like 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes they can take a couple months. So we'll just see how long that takes to recover. Yeah. And I just will go back to it. I was asked this and I'm like, yeah, I've been wanting to do sprints for probably a year or two now. And I think what I did early on was good. I did a good job of dynamic stretching, doing warm-ups, slowly getting into it from a jog, that kind of thing. And I think I need to just, when I get back to it, do more of that for a few times, maybe a couple weeks, before I really try and go all out on a sprint. Because, I didn't even give those muscles a chance to start getting built before I went and tried to go full out. And that's probably my biggest mistake.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. But I think at least that video maybe will give some people a good laugh, because I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I look like a nerd, like an idiot or something out there. But the funny thing is, when we decided to set on doing this, that was one of my first things that I thought would happen. I thought like in the first sprint, I would fall. It took me like the 6th one to fall.
And the thing about it is, Brian, after the 5th one, my wife said, that's it. You guys are done, right? And I said, no, we're going to do one more.
One more.
And the one more hurt me, and the one more had Brian rolling on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the thing about it is, I'm glad we did it. I hate that it turned out the way it did. But if we'd have stopped before that last one, it would have been a perfect day, right? The weather was picture perfect.
Yeah.
The ground was good. The park was beautiful. My wife was there. You were doing well. You were surprising yourself. You commented to me on how much fun you were having. If we just would have listened to my wife and stopped after the 5th one, this would have been, absolutely. You ain't lying. Good Lord. Well, I've been married 30 years. Brian's been married 28 years. We both had our anniversaries last year. And at some point in time, will learn to last week. Yeah. We'll learn to listen to the wise ladies.
Yeah. Hey, the other funny thing is, my wife said to me earlier today before we went out, don't get hurt. I'm like, yeah, I know. I got to stretch out and warm up, that kind of stuff. But I guess I underestimated how out of shape I am. And, I haven't sprinted in years.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, I guess. But I'm used to, like, when I lift weights, I start out with maybe a little bit dynamic warm-up stuff and then some lighter weight, and then I go heavier weight and I'm good. And I just pushed it a little bit too much here. So, but that's okay.
Yeah. The only thing I think, Brian, in retrospect, looking back, first of all, we should not have done that last one. We should have been satisfied with 5. But other than that, I was surprised that your recovery after the first, 3 or 4, you were ready to go pretty quickly. I was expecting you to and I think maybe in hindsight, if we would have taken a couple more minutes between sprints to really, really get your feet, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we didn't put enough recovery between you know, we are in our 50s, you know, I mean, if I could do one thing differently, I would have put maybe a couple more minutes between each one and maybe a little bit of warm up, some dynamic stretching like prior to each one. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I felt really, really good with those sprints. And I mean, I wasn't that out of breath. I was like ready to go, like by the time we walked back to the starting line.
Your recovery was amazing.
Keep
Keep in mind, Brian lived with AFib for like 3 years, right? Or for, I mean,
4
so
4
yeah,
years,
so
yeah.
he had AFib for 4 years, and with Carnivore, he's reversed his AFib, but he still had all that medical history. He still has some blood pressure issues, right? But his recovery, and he hasn't sprinted. I think we discussed today, probably 35 high school basketball, 35 years,
like 35 years, yeah.
and he goes out there today and just, you know, was within a half a second of me, and probably would have been closer had you made it to the finish line, because you were going. I mean, the video doesn't really capture that, but you were moving good.
I was definitely moving faster than the previous sprint.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I was impressed. I'm tickled to death. I hope that you can not let this be a downer. And once you're completely, and no, I haven't. We're in a hotel. My wife and I, we've been kind of sightseeing around, but I will tonight. And then tomorrow I got to drive back to Charlotte. So I'll have 5.5 hours to rest my leg.
But yeah, you know, when I was younger, I played sports a lot and had different injuries and so forth. And an injury is not going to deter me from doing this again. I know that it's actually a good activity to do. Anything that's high intensity is really good for you. And I think that sometimes you got to learn your lesson. And I learned my lesson that I pushed myself just a little bit too much too early on. And the other thing is, from the first 5 we did, I was feeling really good. Like, you know, when I do like a really heavy, high intensity weight training workout, it can be tough, but you feel pretty good. You get this, like, I don't know, energy to you, and your body just feels good. That was kind of how this was. Although I would say I didn't feel like I had to work as hard to get it, which is interesting. So I think that this is something that once I've rested up, I'm going to make sure I rest up that hamstring pretty good. Because I will say, and I didn't tell you this earlier, but as I think about it, I've had issues with my hamstrings in the past.
Right.
And I just never thought anything of it. When I played basketball, sometimes I'd pull a hamstring. Probably didn't feel quite as bad at first, but it's probably maybe just a little bit worse because it's more than a pull, I think. But, you know, I'm sort of used to having injuries from doing things. And now that I eat healthier, I think there will be less injuries, especially if I don't push myself too much. And I should be able to recover faster. So I'm going to let myself recover, and then I'm going to look at going back in and doing things.
One last thing on Brian, I just want to say this. I was so proud of you today, man. I could not believe how good you did. It was amazing. I say, if we would have stopped after that 5th one, taking my wife's advice, it would have been unbelievably a perfect day. It was a great day anyway. It's still a great day, but we had a little bit of a sour note at the end. But man, you did amazing. I think you were on day 1 where I was at probably after 3 or 4 months. I mean, you were just that far. Yeah. Wow. I struggled. You can go back and watch my old videos before I changed the name of my channel to the Carnivore Champion, back when it was called the Champion Within. I did some sprinting back then, and it was pretty ugly. But I just stayed with it, and I got better. And Brian, I think, is starting out a little bit further along than I was. But then again, I wasn't really an athlete in high school. You played basketball in high school. You played church league basketball. You've coached football. You played with your son when he was doing sports. And so maybe you've had more of a lifetime for your, that's muscle memory, right? I mean,
maybe
like you don't ever forget how to ride a bicycle. So I thought you did great. I was really proud of you.
Well, I'm glad you said about forgetting how to ride a bicycle, but let me go to a couple of comments here real quick, and then we'll go into that. I was extremely impressed until I realized that I had to speed up 1.75 times since I came in late and was catching up. That's funny. Okay, we got a question. Paul says, just have to say my blood glucose level is so nicely down these days. CGM reports 14-day average is 104 with no spikes. Been a long road. That is excellent, Paul. Great job.
Yeah, way to go.
Another thing I want to make sure we talk about today is I went to a new doctor this morning before Johnny got over. So I want to talk about that a little bit too. But before we go into that, back to the riding the bike thing, I will say this. I struggled a little bit with getting going.
Right.
And you notice it like on the one video, I kind of shuffled my feet at the start instead of taking off like you should. I was having trouble with trying to concentrate with putting this arm up when the other leg is up. And that was at the start. And then once you get going a few yards, it seems more natural.
Yeah, exactly.
But because it's been so long, I struggled a little bit with some of that stuff. So yeah, it's like getting back on a bike, but it was almost like I needed a little bit of a refresher on that bike.
Well, along those lines, Brian, when I'm at work or when I'm walking around, my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I walk around, I don't think of the camera, I walk around like in my mind, I'm practicing. So if my left arm goes up, my right leg needs to be go. So I walk, that's how I walk, because I'm just trying to train my brain and my body muscle memory so that I don't have to think about it so hard when I do my sprints, because I do at the very beginning, I got to try to remember what leg goes with what arm. And, but like 3 or 4 steps in, it becomes natural. So maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on it. It probably happened naturally anyway, but I digress.
Yeah.
Brian, let's talk about your new doctor, because that was the first thing when I got here today.
I will.
Yeah.
I want to put this comment up real quick. 2 old guys trying to sprint and Brian fell down and both guys got hurt. So funny.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Like Dr. Sean O'Mara is who I've been watching to kind of get the technique down and what kind of things you need to do to kind of slowly get yourself there, start with jogging, that kind of stuff. And he said, I think he said he's been sprinting for like what, 8 years or 10 years, something like that. Years, yeah. And so he's a bit older than us both, I think.
He's 60.
Yeah. So he would have been about my age when he started. Right. And he said the very first time he did it, he went in his backyard and he's like, are any neighbors looking at me? Because he's like, I know I'm going to fall. And that was like in the back of my mind the whole time too, like I'm going to fall. And then it ended up, I fell. So, but yeah, I mean, and he says like, you should really record yourself and then come back to it like a few months later. Obviously mine is going to be a little bit more than a few months because I'm going to have to get started again. But, you will see how when you first started, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I looked like an idiot. And then you're going to see later and it's going to be like, yeah, man, even at this age, 50 some years old, you can really transform your life, transform things. All right. So let's talk about my doctor. So first of all, my previous family doctor I had, and you might be asking, why do I go to family doctor? I do still have some issues with high blood pressure and I'm taking medication for it. So, that's one of the main reasons that I go to a doctor. And my previous doctor didn't like the idea of low carb. I didn't say carnivore. I said low carb. And he said something to the effect of that I'd probably have a heart attack from that. And it wasn't a good idea. And then he saw my LDL level and he said, oh, that's too high. You need to go on a statin. So I said, okay, I'm just not going to talk to this guy again. I'm going to find a different doctor. So I've been looking for a new doctor and I found this one place locally that's just as close as the other doctor was actually, that they had on their website something to the effect of looking more for root cause, that kind of stuff. And I read some of the reviews, and one of the reviews, the lady said, it was a bad review, according to her. She said, this doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. And I can't remember what she had. I think it was an autoimmune disease of some sort. And she said, he told me to eat meat. And I know that's the worst thing to do. So this doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. So I said, hey, I think this doctor knows what he's talking about. So I scheduled an appointment. And well, first I emailed their office and I said, hey, I've had a previous doctor with doing low carb that didn't think that was a good idea, that it was a bad thing. And I don't want to just go to this doctor and have the same issue. So can you let me know if he's okay with that? And I mean, it was like an hour later, they got back to me and they're like, yeah, he has no problems with that. So I said, great, maybe this is going to work out pretty good. So I set an appointment for this morning. So I got there this morning and I kind of was explaining the situation, and he goes, well, what's wrong with low carb? I'm like, I don't know, to be honest, because I've been doing it for 3 years. It was the other doctor that said that. So that started out pretty well. And we talked about some different things. It was interesting because at one point he got pretty technical, talking about triglycerides and how your body interacts with what you eat, for how it changes your triglyceride level, and it can go up and down and so forth. And just checking the triglycerides one time isn't a good indicator, because you might have ate something different before that blood test. So you want to check it a few different times. But normally, if you stay away from carbs, processed foods, you get your triglycerides down. And he started going into like some technical terms. And I think he was like, why am I doing this with this patient? He's probably like really getting bored with me right now. But the funny thing is, I was like, this is cool. Thinking to myself, like, this is cool. This guy actually knows some stuff about that, about eating habits and so forth. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it went pretty good. And I did share a little bit what some blood work I had before done. We haven't set up any blood work for me right now, but he does want to do a CAC scan, which no doctor has ever done that with me before. But he wants to get a baseline of where my CAC is right now. And then we can check it again, like in a couple years or something, and see how I'm doing. So that's a pretty good indicator, he said. But yeah, I think overall it went pretty well. There was a bit of a conversation more about continuing on the path I'm doing to get to a point that I can get rid of some of this blood pressure medication, which is really cool because I've never had a doctor tell me that either. And there was something else I'm trying to remember. Oh, this was one of the coolest things. When they took me back, normally when you go to a doctor, they take you back, they do your weight, they have you sit down, they do your blood pressure, right?
They do it right then immediately.
Right away.
Yeah.
Okay. They take me back. The nurse does my weight, has me sit down, and she starts asking me some questions, so forth. And after at least a good 5-6 minutes, she's like, okay, now we can check your blood pressure.
Wow.
Never had a doctor ever do that before, which is the right thing to do, because just standing up makes your blood pressure go up. That's part of how your body works. That's how blood pressure works, right?
Yep.
So when you go and you sit down and they check it right away, that's not your true blood pressure. That's your blood pressure after you've just been walking. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really cool. And it's the first time I've ever had a doctor that has done that. So that really impressed me. So far, I'm really impressed with this doctor. I asked, he said, well, I hope that I can be your family doctor and welcome you to the family here, basically. And I'm like, yeah. When do you think we should, or I was like, yeah. So what's the next step? He's like, well, I'm going to get the sheet for you for the CAC scan. But he said, let's look at doing a follow-up at some point, whatever you think. And I'm like, so what would be like a normal time? Like maybe 6 months. And he's like, well, it's up to you, but let's look at like April. And I was like, wait a minute. This is a doctor and he's telling me that these decisions are up to me. I have never seen a doctor do this before. Never. Like, it's so refreshing. And he's actually younger than me. He's probably like around 40. Yeah. So maybe that's part of it. But he seems to be like, I know I'm talking a lot, sorry. But he seems to be really up into looking at the science of things, the root cause, looking at eating and what eating does to your health and your body and so forth. So that is very refreshing. And he's actually fairly good shape. I didn't ask him if he does like a low carb diet or anything like that. I probably should have, but he's in fairly good shape. So you can tell he's kind of more health conscious. And I think this could be a really good doctor for me, even if I only have to go see him like once a year or something. Because he even said something to that effect. Like he said, well, as long as you're still taking blood pressure medication, just go in the portal and request it the next time you need it. You don't even have to come into the office unless you truly need to come in.
That's amazing.
And that was
amazing.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're seeing a shift in healthcare. Now, this is a huge, huge boat. So it's going to take 2 oceans to turn this boat. But I think as younger people come into this, and there's a thing called DO, Doctor of Osteopath. So you have regular medical doctors that want to prescribe pills and all. And the whole purpose of the osteopath doctors, and there's a whole new crop of them coming in where I live, because I live near a teaching hospital. And 30% of the medical students there are DO, so Doctor of Osteopathy, which means they're looking at root cause. They're looking at treating the entire person, not going straight to the prescription pad. And I think, 10 years from now, I think we'll be in a great spot. But as you were talking, Brian, what went through my mind, this is what it reminds me of. And this is going to tie in great to a question I have for you. In my mind, I was thinking about Dr. Tony Hampton. Can you imagine if somebody went to Dr. Tony Hampton with the exact same situation that you were in? They would have a very similar reaction. Didn't that remind you kind of Dr. Hampton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up Dr. Tony Hampton too, because I did a interview with him. He interviewed me for his podcast, his Protecting Your Nest podcast. And the podcast actually came out last Friday. And then the full video is going to come out on YouTube. I think he said he's going to do it this Friday. So that was a great interview session, I thought. He asked some really good questions, and it's like an hour and a half long.
Oh,
it's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do it all as just one video. So that'll be pretty cool. And I got to reach back out to him because I was going out of town. But he wanted to do something on my channel too. So I've got some interview questions already lined up, and I'm going to interview him on my channel as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, Dr. Tony Hampton, he's actually one of my favorite doctors. If you watch his videos, like, he gets straight to the point, doesn't add extra fluff, doesn't try and, what's the word I want to say? Try and appease everybody.
Right. Yeah.
He just goes with what the information is, and I really like that about him.
Yeah.
Rick is here.
Rick,
his roof leaked and destroyed his laptop.
Oh
no. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rick.
Sorry, Rick. Let's start a GoFundMe right now. GoFundMe for a new laptop for Rick. If he can't find one in a dumpster somewhere, we'll get him a new one.
So Peter says my doctor is a know-it-all and didn't care about any of my health improvements. He just lectured me about my high LDL and prescribed a statin. I threw it in the trash on the way out of the office. So the previous doctor I had was kind of the same way. I had lost like 85 pounds. And actually from seeing him the one time to the next time, I had lost like 60 or 65 pounds. And he was like, wow, you really did good, lost weight and so forth. And he's like, what'd you do? And I'm like, well, I started the low carb diet. And he was like, oh, that's not good. You're getting, that you might have a heart attack from that. And it was like, so you're going to completely discredit that I'm telling you I just lost weight. Oh, by the way, I hadn't, at that time, it was like a year and a half or something without an AFib episode. It's now over 3 years. So you haven't had an AFib episode in over 3 years. I don't have arthritis anymore. I don't snore. I don't have back pain. I can sleep in bed all night long when I could only do it for a few hours before. I don't have the flare-ups in my knee, my ankle, my foot. By the way, we sprinted today. No issues with my knees, my ankles, my foot. No issues. I could have just walked fastly before Carnivore.
Right. And
by now, I would have been sitting there with ice on my ankle instead of my hamstring. But I'd hurt the hamstring. So, but those are the types of things and that's how he was. And then of course he wanted to give me a stat, and then I just didn't give him a chance. That was it. So yeah, some of the doctors, they're really just about money.
Yeah. And, that dogma they're so ingrained, what other profession do you think would have somebody show them all this evidence? Lost 65 pounds, no more AFib, your heart is doing better, Your joints are doing better. Your skin is better. Everything is better. You're sleeping better. No back pain. And they'll discard all of that for the sake of one number or their perceived thought. Because at the time, he didn't know what your labs were. He just knew you were doing low carb.
Right.
I mean, that is so antithetical of science. You can't ignore 9 things and focus on one thing that you have an opinion of. The 9 things are facts. You got to look at the doctors need to look at the facts. No more AFib, lost 65 pounds, happier, better person, sleeping. I mean, it's
yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Rick said,
yeah,
drug pushers.
Yeah, he's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a family member of mine that used to work in the medical profession. I won't say his or her name. And they were involved in money changing hands at the hospital. And I was surprised when this person shared some of the corruption at the hospital level and at the doctor level. Now, this is from probably 25, 30 years ago. And I can only imagine it's probably worse now.
Probably, yeah.
And this is not somebody that I would doubt. This is somebody that I have a full confidence in. And this person shared with me the bribes that were offered in offices, from pharmaceutical reps. And it was just amazing to know that was going on 25 years ago. And I can only imagine it's going on more now. Yeah. So the big thing in the medical community is these doctors are having these meetings, and you may have seen this on Facebook or YouTube or some of the other social media platforms. The doctors having their staff meetings, and they're complaining about the word root cause. They're trying to get patients to not think about root cause. They don't want the nurses to bring up root cause. They don't want the techs to bring up. That is the death knell for their profit margin is root cause. Because if you fix the problem, they can't sell you the pills. Can I get an amen, Rick? Can I get an amen?
Yeah. I mean, that is completely true. And that's why it was just so refreshing with this doctor today. I'm really excited that I found somebody, because most of the time when I look, and if you look up like for a low carb doctor or something like that, like the closest thing I can find is like an hour and a half away, and I'm not going to drive an hour and a half for a doctor, right. And then like Dr. Sean Baker has the Rivero thing where you can do online with doctors and stuff. And I kind of thought, oh, that might be cool, but it's so expensive. I can't afford to do that. Yeah. So yeah, here you go. Amen. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. The man who has not been to a doctor since 1996. There you go. Yeah.
So they've made $0.00 off my man, Rick.
Yep. I want to bring this up from Peter. I went to store today and bought 1.5 pounds of butter and nothing else. The woman at the checkout looked at me funny, like all you eat is butter. By the way, if I lean back, I hope you can still hear me because we got the microphone in the middle here today. So I'm sorry if I lean back too much. I had a situation sort of like this once. This was probably about 6 months ago. I went to Costco. When I go to Costco, I get big slabs of steak and I cut them up into individual steaks and stuff, right? Like the steaks we had today, those suckers were good. I cut those up from a slab. I didn't actually tell you how much they were. So the 2 bigger ones that we had were like 24 ounces each. Yeah. And then the one that I cut in half for your wife was like about a 20 ounce. Right. She didn't eat all of it, but right. So those, they were nice and thick too, like you said. So anyway, I went one time to Costco. I had like a slab of ribeye, I think, and like a slab of sirloin. And I think I had some lamb and like a big package of ground beef and one of their like 3 or 4 pack thingies of bacon and maybe a couple of other things, right? And I'm going through, and that's basically all that's in my cart. There might have been like a case of water or something, right? Sure. And I'm going through, and I don't know why, but my wife was out of town or something, so I was by myself. And this lady like turns and looks, and she just looks at me with this disgusted look on her face. So I'm like, what does that care to her, first of all? But then I look at her cart, and it was basically filled with all the stuff down the main aisles that you get in big packs, right? Like the processed stuff and all that. And I also, not to be judgmental, but I'm like, she's younger than me and she definitely is bigger than me, and she's judging me that I'm buying a bunch of meat. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody watched it, but I made a video in the parking lot after I got to my car about it, how I thought it was so interesting and so funny. And I posted it. It might have been a short. So who knows if anybody saw it that's watching this, but I did that. That was like 6 months ago. It was just interesting that, people are like that. What does it even matter to them? Like,
Yeah.
I try not to do that stuff. Like other people in my family, they don't eat carnivore like me. They will eat carbs, and I don't have a problem with it. If that's what they want to do, then that's fine. I hope that they try and eat more whole food carbs if they're going to do it, more vegetables, stuff like that. But I don't give them dirty looks or something just because that's the food they got. And maybe this lady was a vegan. I don't know, but so what?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's no skin off your nose. I mean,
Yeah.
you hope that people, everybody, especially people younger than us, would think about what they're putting in their mouth. Brian, I had something kind of an off the wall thing. So heavy cream. So I still drink coffee. I don't know if you guys drink coffee. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Here lately, I've kind of been on a kick where I'm drinking coffee. I've been working unbelievably long hours at work, and we're so busy because there are so many sick people that need to ride in an ambulance. And so I'm getting off later and later. I'm going back. I'm like 13, 14 hours a day now. And so sometimes I'll get a cup of coffee first thing to kind of get me going, to get prepared for that long day. I know I probably shouldn't, but bear with me. And so heavy whipping cream. So I've been buying the store brand of heavy whipping cream. Well, the other day I turned it around, and shame on me for waiting this long, and read the back of the ingredients. It had something called polysorbate 80. I don't know what polysorbate 80 is, but I don't think it belongs in heavy whipping cream. I just want cream. So I found this brand, and it's on my last video, or I did a short of it, I think. And it was just clean. It was just milk, heavy cream, and one other ingredient, something garum gum or something. And
yeah,
it was,
I saw that video.
Yeah.
Yep.
So only 2 ingredients. It was really clean, and it tasted the same. And so what I'm seeing on the news, you guys may have seen this, where, like, for example, Walmart today has decided to take all artificial dyes and artificial ingredients out of their store branded products, which is great. It's a step in the right direction. My question is, why did they ever put all this artificial colors and why did they put that in there to start with? If they can sell it and do fine without it, why did they ever put yellow number 5 and red number 4? I mean, why did they ever even put that in there? I'm sure it was to make it more addictive or more colorful or more attractive. But funny, they're going to take all of it out, and all these companies are lining up. We're removing food dyes, we're removing artificial ingredients, and so forth. So anyway, that was just my thing. Even drinking coffee, if you look at stuff that you put in it, read the ingredients on everything. Just turn the thing over, read the label. If it's got more than 2 or 3 ingredients, if one of those ingredients is the main thing and one is salt and it has a third ingredient, you're probably okay. But the stuff that lady had in her cart, the one that was so judgmental of you, I bet the stuff she had 15, 18 ingredients in everything in her cart.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, and see, I forgot already. It's been one of those days of forgetting. But so let's see. You were talking about the ingredients. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, well, it wasn't that important.
Yeah.
We'll just go to this comment. Docs like Sean, who charged the earth, put me off on them. Yeah, Dr. Sean Baker is great. Don't get me wrong. He's great. He really coined the term carnivore diet, right? But there are doctors out there like that a lot of their information is really expensive to get to. There are some doctors that don't do that. Dr. Tony Hampton's one of them. Dr. Sean O'Mara has a ton of free stuff out there. I actually found this thing he's got that I went through in the last week called the 5-day biofat elimination framework course. And you go through a few different courses. You get to do like one each day. You can do them all at once if you want. And then you got some bonus resources, and it's all free. Oops, I went to the wrong thing. There we go. And it's all free. And then he does have some stuff where he works directly with clients and there's a charge. But did you know it's all through a nonprofit company, and he uses that to do further research into more of an animal-based diet and exercise protocol and stuff like that. There's not very many doctors that do that.
No.
But he's got a ton of free stuff out there.
And I'm not an apologist for Dr. Sean Baker, but I will say this. He does have a lot of free content on YouTube that you can watch. He puts out shorts a lot. And that Rivero program that he has, I mean, that's the way for him to make a living, and other doctors make a living. He's got, I think, 100 doctors with him now. You know, they got to pay a house payment too, and they got to feed their family too. But I think sometimes the charges don't line up with the value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we talked about this earlier today, Brian. I went to the emergency room about 5 weeks ago, right? Because I had overheated. I was dehydrated. I was running sprints in a very sunny, hot, humid day, and I got overheated and dehydrated and had to go to the hospital. And the hospital charged me. I was there. I think I got there about 1 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I was discharged. So I may have been there 3 hours. And the bill was $2,700. I have healthcare insurance. I have United Healthcare insurance. Well, I haven't met my $5,000 deductible. So I have to pay that entire $2,700. So I know the information Dr. Baker's charging is probably out of the price range for some people, like it is for me once I paid this health insurance premium. But it's not to say if you go with a traditional doctor, you're going to save money, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked into Rivero like you did, but it was just out of my price.
Yeah, it was too much for
I
me.
can't afford it.
It would have been a good option to do too,
Yeah.
but
The only way I could afford it would be if I canceled my health insurance and you know, all that stuff. Then I could apply that money towards it, but it would still be tight in the budget. What name is it right there?
This one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed in the medical system right now. I went straight to my doctor and said, I think I have a hernia. She's like, no, it's not a hernia. Several medical tests and specialists later, I have a hernia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the problem there is that you told them and they seem to not like when you tell them. My son has been dealing with issues, and he said, this is about 1.5 years ago when he first went to the doctor, I'm thinking based on stuff I looked up, it's Crohn's. And they said, no, hey, you don't have Crohn's. And so they did find that he had celiac. At first they were like, it's just celiac. And he's like, okay, but look, I've stopped eating that stuff and I'm still having problems. Right. And again, I'll put out there, I wish I could get him to go at least low carb, if not carnivore, because I think it would help a lot with his issues. But, you know, it's hard to get people to do that sometimes, especially family members. But anyway, so they've gone and done different tests and all these different tests. And now they're like, we think it actually might be Crohn's. And this is like 1.5 years later. And it's like, yeah, that's why I told you we should have checked for that 1.5 years ago, because that's what I said. But it's almost like because you say that I think I got this, they're like, oh, you can't be as smart as me. So there's no way we're going to even look at that path.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let's see.
Pop up what Peter said right there.
This one right here?
Up one.
This one?
Yeah.
That will definitely pay my copay when I see a doctor twice per year.
Yeah. It says this thyroid medicine is cheap, only $10 for 90 days. For 90 or for 40. I got you. Yeah.
This was is this what you were talking about with the heavy cream?
Yeah. It's on all the brands. All the one that said it was something organic, Simply Organic, I think it was the name of it. One of the brands. It was the only one of all the ones I checked, and I spent an entire day trying to find clean, heavy whipping cream. And I could just quit drinking coffee and put this whole thing to bed. But I only found one that didn't have polysorbate 80. I don't know what that is. It can't be good. We didn't eat it 10,000 years ago. We probably shouldn't eat it in 2025.
Yeah. You know what gets me is when something says keto friendly and it has like 15 ingredients and like 20 carbs per serving. Yeah. And I'm like, how is this keto friendly? If somebody just looks and says, oh, this is keto friendly, I do low carb, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I gained weight on keto because if it had, I had keto pancakes, keto muffins, keto waffles. I ate that all day. It said keto on the package, and I gained weight on keto. But now I was not doing any research. I was just going by what the packaging said. The keto muffins, the little packages of muffin mix you can buy for they used to be 99 cents. They're probably $1.99 now. for like Pillsbury. If they said keto on the across the top, they were like 7 times as much money. You turn over read the back of the ingredients, there really wasn't a whole lot of difference. And I was spending tons of money being keto.
Yeah. Yeah, the Daisy brand cottage cheese is not bad at all.
Yeah, I got some at home.
And so I like the Good Culture brand because with the live and active cultures it's got in it. So I try and get that, but it's so hard to find because so many people, at least where I live, are in a health kick. And I call it a health kick because they usually don't last with it. But they're on a health kick and they're buying it. So it's really hard to find. So if I can't find it, that's the alternative for me is the Daisy because it is pretty good. It's pretty clean.
And Daisy does have active cultures in it. It's just not to the volume. They're not the percentage that the good. And I was telling Brian today, so he got me turned on. Brian got me turned on to that Good Culture cottage cheese. And I went to 2 Harris Teeters, which is a grocery chain near me, and 2 Food Lines. They were sold out of every size of every kind. I mean, the whole thing was just empty. And I asked the guy, I said, are y'all not carrying it anymore? He said, no, we can't keep it in the store. Mm-hmm. It comes in, it goes. I said, what day does your truck come? He said, well, some days it's Tuesday, some days it's Wednesday. So I'm home to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. So around me, I have several different stores that carry it, and I usually can't find it. One place that I've kind of figured out how it works is Walmart, and they get their shipment on Friday. But if I haven't gone there by Saturday morning, it's gone for the rest of the week until next Friday. So I got to get it like right after it gets in stock. It's crazy.
Brian, I don't want to derail the thing, but my assistant here just handed me her phone and she looked up polysorbate 80. So I'm going to read this real quick. Okay. Polysorbate 80 is a synthetic emulsifier, solubilizer, and stabilizer used in food, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals to mix ingredients that wouldn't normally combine. So it's chemistry. They're trying to make chemicals. Try to make ingredients go together that don't normally go together. And while approved as a food additive with a set daily intake, some animal studies suggested high doses could negatively impact gut health. Crazy. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. So no more polysorbate 80 for me. I mean, who knows what that's doing? It's probably destroying. And I've always just bought heavy whipping cream, the store brand. Not anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You talked about Dr. Sean O'Mara, and we've talked about this, I think, on our podcast before. We've both gone to, on Dr. Sean O'Mara's recommendation, the fermented foods with our food, right? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm going to go TMI, but since I've included the ferments, they either be sauerkraut or the cottage cheese or the kefir, and I've been doing that pretty consistently now every day. Brian, my gut issues are gone, and they had gotten markedly better on carnivore, but they weren't completely gone. I added those ferments in, and I mean, it's perfect. It's the best my digestion has ever been. I have a good void every single morning. You can set your watch by it, and then the rest of the day I'm good. I don't have any bloating. I don't have any stomach aches. No GERD. Just adding the ferments was a very, we'll call it a hack, right? Because it's pretty inexpensive. Yeah. It's easy to do.
Yep.
And it fixed one of the last issues I had holding on.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to say this, and I'm going to touch on that too. I consulted Bart K. It was very reasonable. Bart K is great. I have not actually done a consultation with him, but I have heard that before that it's not too expensive with him. And he is so knowledgeable. That's great stuff. Yeah. Okay. So ferments. I think I told you this like a week ago. I think we were texting or something, and I was like, man, I can't believe how good I feel. Like, that's the interesting thing. A lot, like, before I got into that, when that happened, that was because of the antibiotic I took, and I started reading up. I'm like, wow, I need to restore my gut, so I'm going to look at ferments. But before that, I felt pretty good and was like some people out there and saying, this is all I need to do. I'm good. But the difference now that I've done for like a month, certain fermented foods, and I tell you, it's just a little bit. It's like you take a little bit and you dip your meat in it. It's nowhere near even a half a serving of whatever the fermented thing is, right? So it's just a little bit because you're just getting that the microbes
right
in the live microbes into your gut as healthy microbes in your gut, healthy organisms, and you start feeling really good. And it's interesting. Like, I just sometimes after I eat, I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
I feel really good. That's like crazy. Like, I thought I felt good before, but I feel really good. It's interesting how that works. And I until I had that problem with the antibiotic where my gut started wreaking havoc there for a little bit, I wouldn't have even thought to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Let's see if I can catch up on some of these comments here. Oops, what were you going to show me?
I guess Cynthia.
This one right here?
Yeah, she's talking about the hernia that
Hernias are more of a male thing for when the testes are dropping in uterus.
Yeah, I was born one of those. I had to have surgery as a baby to correct that. But abdominal hernias can happen usually the middle-aged people, straining, lifting, pushing. Your intestines kind of push through the pericardial sac or the abdominal sac that your organ's in, and you get a little bit of a poof out. And it's really not a problem unless it gets the circulation to your gut cut off, that little part that's sticking out. If it gets strangulated, that can be a life-threatening emergency.
Yeah.
So it's good to keep an eye on her. If you have a hernia or know of somebody that does, they really need to keep an eye on that, because it gets to a point the doctor will say, now it's time to do surgery. And we give doctors a hard time, but sometimes you do need a doctor for surgery if you're going to repair a hernia or something like that. That would be the time to see a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah,
Rick,
Rick does ferments too.
Yeah, Rick does it. He makes his own ferments, right?
I believe he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about that, Rick. What kind of ferments do you make, and how do you do it?
Yeah. I've had some people say, like, well, I see if like you're doing like kefir or something like that, but like when you do sauerkraut, that's vegetable.
Yeah.
You need to understand something. When you ferment it, the fermentation process takes all the toxins and everything out of it, as well as the carbohydrate. So especially if you're going to ferment yourself, because you can make sure that you're fermenting it long enough. If not, then you might need to check the nutrition label and make sure that the carbohydrates are gone. But it takes like all those carbs out of it. So you don't really have the bad toxins from the plant and so forth. So it's not really like it's a vegetable anymore.
Right.
And again, like we're talking like this little bit, like if I have like a little bit of sauerkraut that goes with my meat, and probably like some yogurt or some good clean yogurt that has live and active cultures, cottage cheese, and then a little bit of kefir. I might do something like that. So yeah. Let's see. I ferment yogurt and kefir.
Awesome.
That's cool. Amy does kimchi.
That's what I got to try. Kimchi, I haven't done it yet.
Rick also ferments sauerkraut, onions, and tomatoes.
That's amazing.
I've definitely had the sauerkraut. I've never had the fermented onions or tomatoes before. And that might be something you just have to do yourself. I don't know if you can find that really in a grocery store. But the interesting thing, all of these things that we're talking about with the live and active cultures, if you go to the store, make sure it says on the label somewhere on that product that live and active cultures. And here's the key thing. Light kills off some of those organisms. So go to the back of the shelf where it's darker and grab one from the back instead of the front where it's been in the light. And you'll have more of those live and active cultures in it.
And for me, if it doesn't need to be refrigerated, I actually put it we have a little closet in the hallway. I put it on the floor inside the closet with the door closed. So it stays in that dark environment, dark and kind of warm environment. Unless it says refrigerate,
Yep. That's what I do with my apple cider vinegar that I just got. This is day 3 of using apple cider vinegar, just a little bit in my water when I drink my water. And it's an unpasteurized with mother. So it's got all the good stuff in it. And same thing. I got it in a pantry that the door is closed and it's nice and dark. Rick says, if you ever look at my kitchen counter, you see things fermenting from my garden.
So not only does Rick ferment things, he grows them and then he ferments them. That's that you can't do any
better yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna start calling him Professor Rick because he's teaching us so much.
Yeah. Have a very hard rule to never eat any plant material from any store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no matter what it's probably covered in glyphosate or something, you know.
So what is this? I can't do ferments anymore. I used to do kombucha,
Yeah, kombucha.
and now everything has a Scooby in it. I must have a lot of the bacteria, yeast stuff in the area. What's a Scooby?
I think it has something to do with like bacteria. Like, so
Okay.
we're talking about live and active cultures, but I think some people are more prone, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cynthia, to like yeast infections. And Scooby, I think, is some type of yeast. I could Google it real quick, but I think it has something to do with yeast. So people that suffer from like a lot of yeast problems, yeast infections, whatever, I think that's something that they have to avoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm probably wrong, Cynthia, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm on the right thing there.
Nicole is here. Hello.
Hey, Nicole.
Yes, definitely been a long time.
Yeah.
Good to see you though. Let's see. Cynthia says I can't even do apple cider vinegar anymore. Huh. All right. I think we're caught up on comments. So what else did we show both videos? Yeah, we showed both videos.
Show both videos. Yeah.
Those are the only videos I think that I have uploaded here right now.
Yeah.
Johnny's gonna put the video together for his channel, the whole video of everything. So you'll get to see, if you watch his video, you'll get to see some of our earlier sprints where maybe they weren't quite as fast, but we were doing well.
Yep.
Before
we tipped over.
At least you didn't fall like I did.
Yeah.
So
if I had to go one more step out of fall because my right leg just locked. I was like hobbling to get stopped. My wife didn't film the last part of it, but I almost fell at the very end because that leg just locked up on me.
I heard when I fell, I heard I don't know if you said something about on video or something. She's like, "Oh, I turned it off though because I didn't want to have it on or something." When he was like laying there, it's like it's all good.
Years ago, I was racing bicycles. Years and years ago, my youngest daughter got into BMX bicycle racing. So a lot of the dads started racing, and I was racing with the dads. And I fell in the middle of a race. My wife was recording it for me. I fell into the face of a jump pretty hard. I was leading the race, and I crashed. And I broke my wrist, and I'm laying there. My helmet's, my visor's down. And I'm just laying there moaning. She never stopped filming. She had it the whole time. And then you tip over, and oh, I got to stop. I got to go see about him. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
That's fine. That's okay. I wish I had another video I could show you guys, but I don't have it.
Loaded to the
up to where we can do it. But you'll be able to see it from Johnny's channel when he gets out. When do you think you're going to put that video up?
It's probably going to be next week sometime, Brian, because my wife and I are going to drive home tomorrow. We actually have some friends that live about an hour east of here, and we're going to go not east, west, no, west of here, yeah. And we're going to stop and have lunch with them tomorrow on the way home, and then I go home. But then I got to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday at my job. So Wednesday will be the day that video comes out, Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. And my wife did a great job filming. She kind of interviewed us at the end, and so all that will be in there. And I made a couple sprint videos for Brian, not videos, but sprint songs, AI songs for Brian. I'll put a couple of those on there, and that'll be fun.
Do you got one that says anything about falling?
No, I have to redo that one. I made the songs before you fell.
Oh, that's good. Rick's never broken anything bike riding.
Yeah,
I never have either. But I've seen kids actually fall off their bikes and like break their arm or something like that. So yeah, bike riding, I've never done anything like that. Running, playing sports, and when I was younger, I used to always seem to get hurt. But I also ate poorly, and I had inflammation in my body, which was probably worse. But I want to see, with overall being fairly healthy and stuff and not having so much inflammation in my body, I want to see how long it takes for me to heal this up. So that'd be interesting to see, I think. But I think it's more than just a pull. I think it's a tear. So it's going to probably take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see the difference, especially at my age. If I wasn't eating this way, it could go on for months and months.
Yeah, exactly. I know because when I first started sprinting a couple years ago, when I really got strict on carnivore, I was losing weight and I got all my energy back. When I would pull a hamstring, which I think the first 4 times I attempted to sprint, I pulled a hamstring. And a couple of times I had bruising, so I know it was a tear. And within 3 to 5 days, I was back at work and doing my thing. Not saying it wasn't still a little bit sore, but to your point, if I were still eating the standard American diet, that would have been probably 2 weeks of missed work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hate that it happened, but it will be kind of an interesting experiment to see how quickly you heal up now versus prior to carnivore.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for me, I can actually work from home. We are supposed to go in a couple days a week, but I have an excuse now that I can't because it's my right hamstring, so I can't drive. Darn. So I got to work from home all week.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is my ice pack I was using. It's like really warm right now, so I just took it off because it's not doing anything. Because I put it on right before we started our stream. And we're like an hour in, so I probably shouldn't have had it on that long, but I did. Oh well. Let's see. Oh, this would be cool. Aaron and I might go live together Sunday.
I don't know.
Tylenol talking coming. Ooh,
Jump on those topics right there.
that'd be cool to see.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so what else do we want to talk about here?
Well, the only thing I want to talk about, just a little news about me, kind of an update. The wife and I might be moving after the first of the year. We live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We moved to that area for my job 23 years ago. We don't have any family there or anything. My wife's retired. I'm hoping to retire in a couple of years myself. So we're looking at maybe moving back to Georgia, maybe into South Carolina near the Georgia border. Right. So that'll be next spring, sometime March, April. And so when that happens, probably be a couple of weeks. I may not be available for the live stream because I'll be kind of between residents, But between now and then, hopefully we can do that. Holidays are coming up. Cooler weather is coming. So, you did a video not too long ago about a soup. I think you've actually talked about it a couple of times, a soup, or that you make a carnivore soup.
There's a soup that I've done. There's a carnivore chili is the one that I really like.
Yeah.
You can do like ground beef and sausage and bacon. That one I really like. Yeah. It's technically probably more low carb,
right? Because
you put some seasoning in there, and I always put like a tablespoon or so of tomato paste to kind of thicken it up a little more. But there are some soup ones that I do too. Yeah. I can't even remember all of them right now. And those are usually like fully carnivore, 100%. So those are usually pretty good.
So that would be something we'll be looking forward to is the weather change. I know it's still. I mean, today was a beautiful day, but I think it got up in the high 70s today.
Yeah, it was supposed to be around 75. Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Last week we didn't have this, right? We both had anniversaries and so forth with our wives, and I was down in South Carolina. So I went first to Myrtle Beach, and then we went down to Charleston, Somerville area and stuff. And man, it was like mid 90s there still, like at the end of September. The one day we did a ghost tour in downtown Charleston, and it was night. It was dark. It was like 10 o'clock, and it was still like 85 degrees, and I was dripping sweat. And, my oldest daughter lives down there in Somerville, and I was just like, yeah, I don't think we can actually move to the Charleston area to be close to her because this is too hot at this time of year. If this was August, sure, July, August,
you expect it
to be that hot. And then they're like, oh, it's just been hot this week. It hasn't been this hot. And my wife's like, I was just here like 3 weeks ago and it was hot then too. So don't give me that. But yeah, I don't know. It's so hot there. I mean, it can be hot here too. This is average for us right now, mid 70s this time of year. And you never know what we're going to get. Like there was one year on Christmas Day, we were literally in the driveway in shorts because it was like 80 degrees.
No, wow.
And we've had other times like at Christmas time and we get a little bit of snow. So you never know.
Yeah.
I need the carnivore chili recipe. Let me see. So I know a way
could you put it in the newsletter?
It's in the newsletter.
Just gotta go back and find it.
It is in one of them, but so let me do this. Let me find my link, maybe. Because if you're not already signed up for it, you can get it. Or even if you are, you can just sign up again and you can get it. and it'll automatically give you all my recipes, which are only like 12 or 13 or something like that. Of course, I can't find it right now. I don't have that link open. But I know how to find it, I think. So I'm going to do that real quick. Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. I don't think this mess anything up. So while I look for it, go ahead and talk. I've been talking too much anyway.
Well, it was just a great time coming up here, Brian. And those steaks you fixed us today, you said were like 24 ounces. It was really thick. It was really good. Brian cooked on a pellet grill, which I've never had. It's like a pellet grill / smoker. He did the grill part of it today. And the wood pellets that you had in there, my wife even commented how delicious it was. So I may have to look into, once we get moved, investing in one of those pellet things. You got it off Amazon, you said. So I may look into getting one of those because I really enjoyed it. And it didn't take that long.
I really love using the pellet grill because you can smoke on it. And if you get one that has like the open burner thing,
right,
you can put it at a high heat and sear steaks and stuff like that. There's so many good options with it. So I really like to use it. Okay. So you can go to this link here. And so you enter your email address and it'll send you the link for the recipes, and it puts me on my newsletter. If you don't want to stay on my newsletter, simply just unsubscribe. That's fine. I actually didn't send a newsletter last week because I was on vacation, but I typically send once a week, just a newsletter thing out. I usually shout out another carnivore channel in the newsletter and do some other stuff. If I get an update like on my recipe book or something else like that I've given out as free gifts, I will put that in a newsletter sometime, that kind of stuff. So that's one way that you can get that recipe. So let's see, where were we?
While you search that, Brian, can I say something real quick? So talking about shouting out other channels, there's a guy, you guys may know him, you may know him, Brian. He's been in our comments, I think once before. A guy named Anthony Hayduck. And he's changed the name and the kind of the structure of his YouTube channel. It used to be just his name, Anthony Hayduck, but he's changed it to, the title is Chemo to Carnivore. And he's, documenting his journey from going a cancer patient, cancer survivor, who walked away from chemo because chemo was killing him. And he found the carnivore diet. He does the cold plunges. He works out really hard with weights. So he's doing all the metabolic things to keep cancer at bay, and he's winning. And he is such an inspiring human being. So if you guys haven't subscribed, it's called Chemo to Carnivore. I put his link on my Facebook page. If you guys follow me on Facebook, one of my things today was a link to go to his channel, a video he put out, a real short video about the direction of his channel. But he only needs, I think he said 100 more hours or 200 more hours to get monetized. And if there's one human being on the planet that I think deserves to be monetized and have an opportunity to, because the stuff he does outside of insurance, because insurance won't pay for what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he could use all the help and support he can get. He's a cancer survivor. He's very uplifting. And I love the guy to death. We've become really good friends, just kind of in the comments. But anyway, it's called Chemo to Carnivore. Please go to his channel. Don't just subscribe, but watch his videos, follow him, and watch his journey as he kicks cancer's rear end like you wouldn't believe.
I thought I had him in my database.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. But maybe it was because it had different name on it before. And
his channel's relatively new. I think he's got enough subscribers to be monetized. He just needs the watch hours. So I've gone back, and I'm going to go back when I get back home, and I'm going to rewatch all of his videos to try to help him get those watch hours. Because to be honest, I haven't watched every minute of every video because I don't have time to watch all the creators I would love to watch. So none of us do, right? But I would, Anthony, Amy's right. I love the guy to death, man. You've got to check him out. Chemo to Carnivore, and watch his videos. Let's help him push him over the top so he can get the watch time, so he can get monetized. And if you have to pick between watching my channel and watching his channel, for the love of God, pick his channel, because he's a lot more entertaining and a better person than I am. But then if you have time later, you can watch mine. But I love giving him a shout out. Not just his channel, all these channels. I love Amy's channel. I love Rick's channel. I probably watch more of Rick than anybody else, but Rick puts a lot of stuff out there. So he
does, sometimes multiple a day.
Yeah. I was watching the other day. He was using some kind of machine to move a swing set. I didn't get a chance to finish watching the whole thing, but He was using this a Bobcat or something, whatever it was, Rick, and you were moving somebody's swing set. Anyway, I digress.
So what was I gonna say? Oh, well, maybe next week you're gonna have a pretty entertaining video out there for people.
Yes.
So they get to watch me fall and fail. So that'll be cool.
And I'll probably do it in super slow motion, and I'll zoom in on it and put some
oh my God.
circus music behind it or something.
I want to see though, if you do that,
Mhm.
if it looks like my foot goes into like a little hole.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost kind of wondering. I know I was leaning very forward and probably too forward, but I almost wonder if that's kind of what tripped me up a little bit. I don't know.
Because we weren't really on the
Right.
soccer field. We were kind of beside it. Maybe we
Yeah.
should have actually gone onto the actual field. Maybe they wouldn't have been. But yeah, I'm sure if I go back and zoom in on it and slow it way down, if there's an uneven part, which I'm willing to bet, even my wife said she thought it looked like one leg went down more than the other. That probably what trips you up there.
Yeah.
So Rick's
I have
getting new
no
shifters
idea.
on his bike. That's good because he's always having to hold that thing. In
Oh,
case.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now needs some grips on it. He just holds the bare metal handlebars. He needs some grips on there, some tape or something.
Yeah.
Skid steer from Home Depot. That's what he was driving.
Oh, in that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
There's Bill. Bill's in there too. Went and said hi to Bill, haven't we?
Bill. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Subscribing.
Yeah.
So where did I just eat? There was a question. Oh, how many subscribers do you need in order to do lives? I don't know. Is there a
I think it's 1,000.
minimum?
I think it's 1,000.
Is it?
Yeah.
Could
I mean,
be.
it could be 500.
Hmm.
Whatever
Might-
it was.
It might be 500 because didn't they change things? recently?
They keep adjusting things.
Yeah, so it might be 500 now.
Yeah. And once
Okay.
you get where you can do lives, we had this discussion today, Brian, about doing lives. Lives are easy. Like I'll do mine from my phone. I just put my phone in front of my face. I may record what I'm eating. Hey, this is Carnivore at Wendy's, whatever. And I do a quick thing. I hit upload and it goes. And it may get 1,000,
Here you go. It's
2,000
50. 50 subscribers.
Oh,
That's not bad at all.
yeah, not bad at all. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So they've changed it a lot. But I think they're trying to, because other platforms are starting to pick up more. People are doing more TikTok, more Instagram, more Rumble. So I think maybe YouTube's trying to be a little more aggressive at getting the content creators to stay on their platform and to come to their platform.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm pretty sure it was more than 50 because it took me forever to go live. I was so excited when I got to go live. But you'll do a live and they'll get 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, and you make like 18 cents. So Brian's kind of give up doing them. He said it's a lot of work for not much return.
Yeah.
But
You're talking about the shorts.
yeah, the shorts.
The shorts.
Yeah.
Yep. I did put out the short earlier today, though.
Yeah,
Did
you
anybody
did.
see that short? We kind of did a short earlier before we went out to do our sprints.
Yeah, we were just
to
testing the
advertise.
camera and everything.
Yeah, just to kind of advertise it out.
Yeah.
We were actually sitting next to each other, but it didn't look right in the short, so I put one on top of the other when I did the editing. But
Brian's real efficient at the editing. I'm not. I don't know all the shortcuts on the screen, so it takes me forever to edit a video. If I put out an 8-minute, so YouTube's thing is if you do a video 8 minutes or longer, you get 3 ad spots in there. If it's 7 minutes and 59 seconds, they have a before ad and an after ad. So I always try to do my videos like 8 minute and 1 second, just so they can put that other. And I hate those ads too, but hey, but it'll take me 3.5 hours to film, edit, and upload an 8-minute video. And almost, for maybe $100 a month. And most months I don't make any money, but about every other month I'll get a check for $100, and that pretty much helps me recover some of the money. Like StreamYard is like $60 a month or something.
yeah,
So
that's how I used to be with it, and now for quite a while, I go in, I record my video, and I basically just edit out the beginning to the start of it, and then the ending, and that's it. So if I kind of mess up when I'm talking, say ums a bunch of times, like I just did, or I kind of get tripped in my words or something, I just let it go and kind of laugh, and it's in the video now because I'm like, it just was not worth it, all the editing I was putting into it. Rick, $25 from 18 years on YouTube. Yeah, unless you're like this huge influencer, you don't really make money.
Yeah.
You don't.
For me and my thing, Brian, my motivation to continue to do this and to stay with it, one, it helps me stay accountable to my subscribers. It helps me stay on track with my diet. And two, and I didn't share this with you, Brian. I had a guy that I went to high school with, a guy named Larry. Larry may be watching this because he started watching all my stuff. I haven't talked to the guy in 20 years, but he's seen my videos and he's seen my Facebook post. And he said, John, I've been pre-diabetic for 20 years. He said, but I've just crossed over and now I'm diabetic. And he and I are the same age. We graduated high school together. I've known him since junior high. Mm-hmm. And he said, John, I don't think I'm going to live much longer. I'm not doing well at all. Please help me. So I said, Larry, I am here for you, buddy. I'll do anything. And so he said, well, what should I eat? How should I eat? Well, I kind of gave him the spiel. I've sent him to Dr. Tony Hampton, Dr. Sean O'Mara, obviously Baker, and, all of them. Anthony Chafee. I said, don't just take my word for it. I'm just a flunky paramedic. Look at these doctors, these physicians that are practicing doing this, Dr. Kiltz, everybody. And so he's been, we've been communicating, texting each other back and forth pretty much every day. And it's been 2 weeks. And he said, I cannot believe how much better I feel. Now, he's having some bathroom issues. He's got the diarrhea going on. And I said, that will subside. Just got to be patient with it. It will.
Yeah.
But he said in 2 weeks, the inflammation in his hand, he's a mechanic. He works on cars. He's been doing it for the same people for 37 years. And he said his wrist, his hands, everything has gotten better. And his mood has improved. And he said he can see light at the end of the tunnel. So if I never make another dime off YouTube, the fact that I might help my buddy Larry turn his life around. He's got kids and grandkids. He spends a lot of time with his grandkids when he's off from work, which is only 2 days a week. He works Monday through Friday. And so that is worth. YouTube couldn't pay me enough money to replace the feeling I get when I think about my friend Larry, or my friend Stephen Robinette, who was a former paramedic co-worker of mine, was going through. Really, he was getting ready to retire from the ambulance service where I used to work in Charlotte, and he needed like 3 more months to get the retirement. And the COVID thing came out, and they said if everybody didn't get the COVID thing, that they would be terminated. Well, he had 3 months to go to be able to retire. He didn't want to give all that up, so he had a plethora of issues after having that. Some did, some didn't. He did. And he called me up and he said, John, what can I do? I said, well, you can try this. It's the proper human diet. It won't hurt you. I'm not saying it'll help anything you got going on, but it won't hurt you. And he went cold turkey right then. And man, his results have been off the chart good. And he still gives me credit on Facebook. My friend John told me about this. So that's 2 people. My brother, Steve, who will be 60 years old tomorrow. He's 17 months older than me, who had open quadruple bypass surgery at 42. Just had his triglycerides checked, and they were off the chart. And he don't mind me saying this because he's talking about this on Facebook. And so he's bordering on another heart attack. I'm saying, Steve, you got to do something. He said, well, teach me what you do. How do you even get started in this? So that's one guy that's turned his life around, another guy that's turning his life around, and my brother, who's one of my best friends in the whole world, and he's my brother, is working his way towards very low carb. He's trying to get there, but to change your life after 60 years of doing the same thing is not easy, but I'm working with it. So those 3 things right there, plus who knows how many people have watched my videos and never reached out to me, but if maybe taken my, my blood pressure came down, plantar fasciitis, arthritis, all that stuff, and say, hey, if this guy can do it, I can do it too. And maybe I'll never know that they did that.
Right.
But you just have to know that you're making a difference. You're.
Yep.
Anyway.
Are we getting a final call?
No. Anyway. Yep. I think you need a new handlebar. So that, was it loose? Yeah. That's Peter talking about.
For his bike.
Yeah.
For Rick's bike.
It does creak a lot. He took poured a bunch of oil over it one day and it quit creaking. It started creaking again. He's all right. But that's okay.
Yep.
New tires, grips, and shifters. He needs a complete overhaul on that bike.
Yeah.
And he got the bike out of the trash. So he has no money invested in it. I think he put new tubes in it, but anyway.
Very resourceful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're caught up on comments. We're getting close to the 1.5 hour point. So this is probably, I know you gotta get up in the morning and get back down your way.
Yeah, we got about a 20-minute ride back to the hotel, and then we're gonna head back home tomorrow.
Yeah, it was great having you and your wife here. Outside of us both kind of hurting ourselves, it was really great and nice. Like I've talked about this before, like in the carnivore community, it's it's nice. Like people do meetups and stuff, and it's nice to get to meet other people and so forth. And I kind of developed a pretty good relationship with Greg, and we talk a lot through text, but he lives far away. And we've been talking a lot and stuff, and we got to actually meet up, and that's pretty cool. And something without the carnivore community, this would have never happened. So this is really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I hope we get to do it again. Maybe I can come down that way sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great. So there's a girl, I think her name's Aaliyah English. I think she's a 17-year-old carnivore, and she's got her own YouTube channel, and she's my friend on Facebook. And so she put one of those questions out. What's your favorite part about carnivore, whatever? And my response was this wonderful community. And Brian, our friendship, I met Greg. I got to meet Greg and his wife.
Yeah, you did.
Who's your carnivore? Brett. I met Brett when I was in Indianapolis. So I got to spend some time with Brett. So this has just been, and like I said before, I don't know if I could have stuck with this all this time without the community that I'm a part of, that I was welcomed into. And that's amazing. Yep. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Next Wednesday, either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have that video out showing me and Brian kind of our morning together today. And unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted it to end, but better luck next time. I guess we'll do a little bit better next time. We won't try it. We'll listen to my wife, who's standing just off stage right here.
All right. Okay. So we'll be back next Wednesday in our own homes.
Yeah, I'll be back in Charlotte.
Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time. Did I say? Yes, I did. So we'll see you guys then. Bye, everybody.
Take care.